Recording already. So welcome everybody. We are live in the IOTA Discord governance meeting about the SHimmer governance framework that is still in development, but we're coming very, very close to getting a really very good and final version. Just a few things I think we have to nail out and figure. And yes, so maybe do we want to make a short recap of what was discussed last Tuesday? Maybe we can go through the protocol JD posted in the channel.
Yeah, I think if we do that, I'm driving, but if you want to hit those points, I think
Yeah.
really we pretty much discussed and confirmed the framework questions. But if we want to kind of recap those, and then if no one has any issues, we can kind of
I
and then I think there was. Go ahead.
yeah, no, you're just breaking down, JD. This might be because you're driving. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
no,
I was
yeah,
just saying if
it's
we
good.
go over the question, if we go over the questions from Tuesday, I think everything's been discussed and agreed upon.
Yeah, JD, your cell connection's horrible.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let me just go through the things from Tuesday weekend that JD posted as a meeting protocol. So there were two main bullet points on the last meeting. This was discussing and getting closer to solving the open governance framework questions, and then they did a review on ASA's really great workflow for the proposal lifecycle. Maybe ASA can then later show this because I think you corrected also some stuff. There were still some open questions. One was the proposal template. Kind of everybody was happy, but it was suggested to fill in the wording for the poll. And basically, I have added this to the framework. Let me see. I'm here. I got it. So that's. Do you see my screen?
Yes, I do.
Yes, let me check so that I also have it on the recording. Okay, so that's basically the frame, the template. That's kind of following the general structure. You have the title, you have the identifier number that is assigned by a moderator. You have the simple summary, you have the abstract. These are all the things that were pretty clear, with a little bit explanation text inside what people should write in there or what it basically means. And what I have added now is this field here for the vote question and answers and additional information. So basically here you could write down exactly the title of your proposal and your question for the poll and the answers. And I have added an example basically how the participation event should look like that is used in the vote afterwards if it goes to phase 3. And I just marked basically everything um, that is marked blue here would be things that the proposal submitter has to fill in. So you fill in the name, you fill in the milestones when the vote basically would start in Firefly. Those milestones we can get. I'm just in contact with the Hornet team. They have a tool where basically you can just calculate with the tool the exact milestone. Um, we should have something like this. And yeah, text of question and answer. And The red things are the things that the moderators will have to add because the identifier number has to be coming from the moderators, and also the link to the phase 2 poll. Basically, you can only have the link once the proposal is posted in the forum. And so basically, this is stuff that the moderator later on have to add here. But you could use this here, just fill it out completely, and then you just copy it, and you can use it as it is in the notes to count the voting. Yeah, and basically you can also just really put your question and your answer here, and you only change the marked fields. Everything else you don't touch. You don't change any commas or anything here. But this is something we have to go through a couple of times with the moderators, I think, because one single mistake here, yeah, if you go here and you just remove this comma here, the vote will not happen. Basically, the notes will not be able to count it properly because one comma is missing. So this is a bit technically tricky.
So with you said a unique identifier.
Hmm?
Will we have like a unique identifier number producer or something like that, or how would we
You start with one and you just increase it. So the moderators increase it. I think we're gonna have a Excel file or something.
Okay.
And you just grab the next every new proposal. You grab the next new number.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I had to just have to get something for my throat. What else? Next question was about let me see where we are. Okay. Yeah, okay. So there, the guide. That's I'll take this on me. So this something I'll start over the weekend, I think, to create a guide with screenshots for the forum. The guiding principles.
Just quick question.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions, or is everyone in the group satisfied with the template now that it includes the Firefly wording? And if there's no objections, I think then we can consider that complete. Nope. Going once, twice, three times.
I have one question. Is it possible to have like a slightly different user interface just to prevent maybe people from deleting a comma or something, where they just basically fill in the blanks that relate to the blue sections and then have it back in fill in maybe?
That's actually a good idea. You could I don't know if we can make it, because if you would have something like an Excel sheet where you can have cells, but yeah, so I'm not sure if we can do it. I'll try to think about if we can have something easy that really only fills out the things. Maybe with a Google form or something like this.
Yeah,
You might be able to do it with Google Form.
Yeah, you could definitely do it with Google Form, but it would be also interesting. You can do it almost in different phases, right? Since blue is filled out by the proposer, and they would have one form, and then once that form hits, it would activate the moderator's form to be filled in,
Mm-hmm.
And if we're doing it through a Google form, we can essentially also create the unique numbers for each input that come from that.
Okay, that's
That's a great
basically nice.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
like that.
so just completely seamless. I just don't remember how to
So
find it.
so essentially, yeah, I've used forms and Smartsheets, not Google Forms. I'm sure it's the same thing, but and then if we follow that process, once phase one proposer tags it to be phase two, because that's when the identifiers coming into place. The moderator or admin would then approve that phase one, and then it would send them the Google form, right? And they would fill that out, and then it would come back to the moderator approval to click approve, which would then log the unique identifier in the spreadsheet,
Mm-hmm.
and then also we would just copy and paste their poll and answers into the phase two one, or we could put that on the onus of the proposer, either one. But okay, yeah, that's a great idea.
That's basically sounds cool. Yeah.
Yeah, would we even need to copy and paste? I feel like anything that you're copying and pasted could be created into just a part of
Automated.
the automated script within the form.
Or like could the form create a post in discourse?
I don't think so. I don't think Discourse is so good with integrations of stuff. I can look basically, or Antonio maybe can look. There's a lot of integrations. Maybe it's there. Then it would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way,
Yeah.
I like that idea. Cool. We just got to figure out what works.
Mhm.
Nice.
Cool. What else did we have? Then we had the guide. Okay, the guiding principles. I've added Mariana's suggestions. The one that was from the European Commission. So that's in.
Yeah, and again, we went over guiding principles, guys. It was in there. Mariana did a good job of incorporating the European standard statement. Really is just that we're not segregating any people, groups, or anything. And then if anyone wants to look at those guiding principles, just very basic, but really just to say that we're not segregating anyone. We're following the IOTA Foundation's allowed post, and any technical proposals will go on to the tip selection, and that the proposal is a positive and related to the SHimmer IOTAs. Well, related to SHimmer, but also positive to the IOTA SHimmer assembly system network ecosystem. So, and then really that takes the onus off of the moderators or admins, take any judgment that if any rejected proposal, we have something to point to of why it's being rejected. And if anyone sees anything that they think they could add, then please let us know. More clear, concise structure is, I think, better for that aspect.
Yep. Yes. I think one point was still also the seasons. I have added all the season things also in the doc. Maybe most of you have seen it. So this was basically just yeah, I mean 4 seasons for like 3 months each, starting in October. This was kind of just a random thing. And the guidelines around the season, the purpose is basically all there. So also what we discussed that we use the season to avoid resubmitting of topics with the same intent directly after they have, let's say, declined So you have to wait until the next season if you got one declining. And if it was declined 2 times, you have to wait 2 seasons. And then 3 times declined would cause a delay of 4 seasons, basically 1 year. And I think that's it. Yeah, you don't need a longer delay than a year. After a year, somebody can resubmit it again, and maybe the community likes it then. But I think
good.
that works
Like it.
fine. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? We had, what did I also add? Nickel and Dime suggested to implement the text for the versioning and the things. I implemented it here so that we basically host everything in GitHub. So once this is voted on by the community, it will basically, the whole document, the whole text will be copied as is and be put into GitHub. And
Great.
so basically, in GitHub you have these different branches, yeah. And we would make one file for, let's say, season 1, and what was decided in the vote would be the main branch. This is what you usually see if you open GitHub in a repository. You're going to be shown the main branch. But as we are likely going to change some things along the way in the first season and also in the next season, we should still lock all these changes in GitHub. And this usually we would do with a pull request. And so we would basically create a second branch, which is not main, because main shouldn't be changed. And main should always represent what was voted on by the voters. But the changes that the moderators might do for small parameter changes, we can create pull request for every change and lock this in the same file under the develop branch. So we have the original version in main, and we have the adjusted version in develop. So we can always see basically where are also are the differences. And once the season is finished and basically the next season specification gets voted on by the community. Yeah, so I think we said every 3 months we make a vote that the community accepts all the changes that have been done by the moderators. And then basically we would merge everything that was locked in develop and would basically merge this, and this then becomes the new main branch for season 2 with a new file. Then is basically this is the new specification then, and all new changes to this season 2 specification go also again into the develop branch until they are voted on by the voters. And one thing I added, because we're gonna show the stuff in the wiki, and I think we should always show not every. Basically, we should always show the voted on thing in the wiki, and not what was changed. Yeah, so from the moderators. Yeah, so basically, wiki will always show what is in the main branch, which is the agreed and also the accepted by voters accepted version of the framework. Okay, basically, I think that's all. I wanted to do stuff about the runoff polls, but I didn't have time to add this. Maybe we can chat a bit about, and I'll add this over the weekend so that we also have defined how we handle the runoff polls in phase 2.
Yeah, that would be great. So we can also incorporate it to the infographic, because there had been a comment from last week that we need to mention that in the infographic. So then we can also update it accordingly.
Yeah. I think definitely we need to. I didn't have time to write it down, um, but once we have this, can I update it also in the graphics, and then basically we are very much there, I think. Then I would really hope
Hey,
that we get a lot of people
Philo,
reviewing. Yeah.
just real quick on the seasons. I think it's coming out really great. Do we want to make a final decision on like, do we want a Christmas break or just let it roll through?
Yeah. I don't know. What do
Because
people think? What do people here in the audience think?
I mean, I think there are other seasons that will also be affected by. I mean, there's also Easter and like summer holidays, for example, and maybe other festivities. I mean, I think maybe it would be a good idea to just adjust. Like, I mean, we will know when planning the season, or like when the season starts, which holidays will come in between. So maybe then just align on the dates that like something that is done in the end of a season is maybe done a few weeks earlier to have everyone there. I don't know what you think about that.
No, I'm happy with that. For me, I think really, yeah, the days between Christmas and New Year. I mean,
Yeah,
actual,
but also August in Europe, for example, like August in Europe is completely dead.
yes. And
So,
so
for example, the season 4, like you have a month that is completely dead in between.
yeah, the question the
Mm.
question
Yeah,
for
and
me
even
would
Easter. I mean,
yeah, the question for me
oh,
would
sorry.
be, I mean, they should be aware of this. If you submit a proposal on the 15th of December, you can't really you can't really hope that you get proper participation. It might even fail because there's not enough voters. So people that propose things should think about also this, to having a timing. Yeah, but I'm open to everything there. Whatever the community thinks is best.
Yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead,
I
Andy.
think that, yeah, I think people will obviously know, hey, look, I'm submitting this around Christmas. And if that's part of their plan, then I think that there will also be kind of that perspective from the voters of like, wait, why are you doing this now? Rather than wait for a time period where you expect to get either full quorum or you don't try to gamify it, you know?
Yeah, feels sneaky to propose something in such times. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I originally brought it up because I read it in another DAO that it was used for manipulation, but I'm pretty sure that DAO had like a dynamic minimum requirement, meaning how active the the voting is. So during those times, it was low activity, which allowed them to push votes through. Us, on the other hand, setting that minimum threshold and not being dynamic, especially in a short term, um, doesn't even, it kind of negates that risk. So then I guess the only thought was, well, then do moderators and admin have enough time during those time periods? And I like what you guys are saying because it's basically saying it's right. It's like organically protecting itself. We're probably not going to see many proposals during that time because there's not a good chance of getting passed. So hence the moderator and admins won't have that much work during that time and can enjoy the holidays. And I think that's in the adjustment anyways, should we see something unplanned occur. So okay, so maybe we just go with don't worry about the holidays at the moment and see how
Yeah.
things take off and then adjust
Yeah.
accordingly.
See also how much really proposals and votes and stuff really going to happen. Yeah, that's a bit of a, we don't know it yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And
So going with
I,
no holidays.
yeah, and then I would also say that since a lot of us have, let's say, very various religions, various time zones, various kind of, let's say, local calendar events, um, I think as we scale, we'll be able to more effectively cover every day because, you know, what does 24 hours mean for a submitted proposal? Amongst right now, we're talking about 5 moderators, but we hope to get more, right?
Right.
And I was talking to a Cardano person yesterday at a blockchain event, and they were like, we don't have a deficiency of veteran community advisors, because as the community grows, there's just more and more people who want to participate.
Yeah, I think also we're not going to be short on that end.
Okay. Next one.
Okay, what else did we do we have other open, or Asa, will you maybe you wanna hop in and show the adjusted slide that you have?
Yeah, there were some things that I wanted to confirm first, and I'm not sure. Should I like share the screen maybe with this?
Yeah,
Is
do
that
it.
easier, or maybe if I
Sure.
share it to you and you share it there in yours?
No, best is if you share. That's
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
usually the easiest way.
Yeah. Okay. So I just start. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
It's
Yes,
coming.
but nothing shared yet.
There it is.
Also, you
Yes, I see it.
Graphic. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So there had been a question. We were mentioning that when something goes to the archive, I mean, we said that not all the posts should go to the archive, like something that really doesn't like stay with our guidelines, that is racist or sexist, for example, this shouldn't even go to the archive. However, this is a little bit long to mention in the infographic, so we will just leave
just
it.
to recall what we said that
Yeah.
we would only archive proposals that had made it into phase 1 at one point. If a proposal never made it into phase 1 because the moderators didn't approve it for various reasons, then it does not go to the archive.
Yeah.
Okay, quick clarification. Philo,
Mhm.
is that what is the process to visualize it? So someone would trust level 1, creates a proposal, a topic. Before it goes live, does it have to be approved by a moderator or admin?
Yeah.
Or does it go live and then a moderator and admin gets flagged and can go review it?
No. As soon as somebody wants to post something in those categories, every post there, every new topic creation goes first to the moderators. So nobody will
Goes with head,
yeah.
basically.
Nobody will see
Got
it.
it.
Nobody will see it until because basically otherwise the people could spam or whatever post shit there. But
Yeah.
so
Okay.
And
That's
just to
actually
clarify,
good.
because you said you're going to bring over Discord moderator kind of rules and responsibilities. Does that also cover things like, we have a what is it? Not safe for workplace,
yeah,
no illegal
it's
child
already
pornography, all that
it's
stuff
already
is all
there.
that's covered.
It's already there in the
Yeah,
forum.
cool. Okay.
There's a big there's a pinned post, and there are the terms, I think terms and conditions or whatever it's called,
Terms and conditions. Okay, cool.
and it basically
Nice.
covers everything that you could wish for, behavioral and ethical and sex and religion and whatever. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's the Discord community guidelines, and they're really all fulfilling and touching on every kind of topic that communities and forums and moderators will need there. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, great. So, but then the agreement is that the proposal will only go to the archive if it has been approved to phase 1. So, if you're trying to make a proposal and it gets rejected straight away, then it's not even going to the archive. Is that the agreement?
Yep.
Nice.
No, No need to keep stuff like this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
Then
to
I think we
clarify,
can
Philo,
remove.
is
Sorry.
the post when somebody posts, is it just hid? Is it hidden? Like not showing up, but the link could still be shared? Like unlisted is the word. Or is it not accessible?
It is unlisted. I don't know if there is not yet an accessible link. I mean, you have a link, but if you share it, nobody will basically it will open as an this post is unlisted or something like that.
Oh, it's not accessible.
No, it's not as
And the
accessible.
question,
Mhm.
are these posts editable? I don't think so, because in
No.
this would like, yeah, in this case, because we last time we thought about how there might be an actually good proposal, but maybe it does not quite meet the guidelines and needs adjustment. Okay, I
Yeah.
guess then we have to delete those two.
I mean, basically the moderators can edit. So if you see you get a proposal, and you see okay there's something is missing. Yeah, you can basically tell this to the proposer. He can he can he can tell a moderator what should be added, and so then the moderator can copy what was missing inside and then post it. Um, so you don't need to delete it, I think. Yeah, it can be basically handled if the moderator sees, okay, there's 3 typos or something, and you have forgotten to mention this and that. Then the proposer can just write the missing points, send it to a moderator. The moderator puts it into the post, and if the submitter is happy with it, then they can be approved.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, basically, I will remove this because this one says already before it has been approved.
Yeah.
So I will remove this part because it's not relevant anymore. I also see these ones are basically the same steps as well. The proposal is approved by the
Yeah.
moderator. This is also redundant because it's basically saying the
Yeah,
same thing
that's
twice.
a duplicate. We also came to
Yeah,
that conclusion.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, then it was also about the positive votes versus likes here in the phase one. Um, So there was a comment saying that in phase one, the proposal will pass to phase two with either 50 positive votes or likes. In case the proposal doesn't have a vote within the topic.
Yeah.
So we want to specify that here in the infographic that it's either 50 positive votes or likes, because I had understood that we will go with only one, like either votes or likes.
Yeah, yeah, either votes or likes. So you should
Oh,
better specify it. Yeah.
so votes likes like this,
Uh, yes.
or
This,
yeah, okay.
uh,
Um, and then yeah, there was also the question about if a phase one post is archive, if it doesn't have any activity for 4 straight weeks. We wanted to see if this can be automated in discourse, but I think this is not something that should be mentioned in the infographic anyway, right?
I
Or
think also that sounds a bit too much detail because
yeah,
otherwise that's too much for a normal user will not really be interested in knowing these details. Yeah.
uh, uh, okay, so then I will just leave it as it is, like mentioning that if a proposal in phase one doesn't receive 50 positive votes / likes during 4 weeks, it is moved to the archive.
Well, I think it's if a proposal doesn't receive activity or engagement. So, like, if someone posts a reply, but they're not necessarily liking or voting, I'm assuming that discourse is still going to keep it. I think the algorithm's probably saying if no one clicks vote, like, or posts a reply or an engagement, then it would archive itself.
I'm
Well,
not even
so
I'm not even sure if an auto archive is possible in Discourse, based on activity. Might be. I will have to look through if I find a function that does it. Otherwise, the moderators would have to monitor this.
Yeah.
Let's say once a week, you go through. Okay, that's like, look, that's already 32 days. Nobody did anything there. Okay, we put it into archive.
Yeah,
And
we
what are you
also
calling
said
like did
like because
everything? Sorry, because
because
like
people could
if you are going to be the moderators, the ones that are going to monitor that, you can easily monitor with comments, but I don't see how you will monitor likes, for example. Like, can you see the day in which the last like was done, or would you just like keep
Yeah,
like
yeah.
manually
No.
like
You can see
information of how many likes do they have? Okay.
you can see when it received the last like. I think I'm definitely as an admin.
Why don't we put, if a proposal in phase 1 has no activity for 4 weeks, it is moved to archive. And activity is sort of open-ended, and once we start seeing what actually can be quantified in discourse, we could always add that later. It might
Yeah.
be likes, maybe it doesn't show comments, maybe it does show comments, but it would be nice if at least somehow we could have it ping us to say,
Hmm.
hey, there's been no activity for 4 weeks, and then but
Yeah.
if we have to do it manually, we have to do it manually.
Yeah,
I
and what?
also see there might be scenarios where some people like artificially bump proposals by, so it's not actually any organic activity but just making a reply for the sake of there's a reply there. And
Yeah,
in
that's
that case,
exactly what I
moderators
was
would also have
thinking.
to say, come on, there's nothing moving forward in any direction here. We are going to close that if nothing happens in the next few days or so. And then if nothing happens, then I mean, you can just repost it if discussions should continue.
Right. People can do it to the next season, but also it's just phase 1. Phase 1's kind of like the spam catcher. Really the phase 2 is the one. So I mean, if people artificially extended another 4 weeks, I mean, if the community isn't voting for it, the community's not voting for it. So
Yeah, it's the question because maybe somebody wants to make, yeah, okay, somebody could like repost it and change it for a bit, for example, if really nothing moves forward on that proposal, and for example the original proposer does not react to his ideas also.
and actually that's what we organically want, right? Like if someone puts a proposal and the community doesn't react to it, and they pull that proposal off and resubmit it in a different way, and then the community reacts to it, well, that's good, because the community said, hey, we don't like this. The person went and changed it, and the community said, great, we like that change now. And that's really what we want the process to emulate. Or in the phase 1, even better, is the person posts it, there's no activity by the community, and then they start discussion. What do you guys like to see? How can we change this? Blah, blah, blah. And then that proposer takes the discussion and goes and reposts it, and then takes essentially what the community is saying and brings it back. So that would be great if that happened.
Yeah.
And then, again, I think same if it's spam, which I like hearing more and more of the DAO recaps on other DAOs where they surprisingly don't deal with a lot of spam and adverse activities. But if we start seeing that, then we can always adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, with regards to then the text about the archive, I wrote that if a proposal in phase 1, yeah, as you said, has no activity for 4 weeks, it is moved to the archive, just so that
Fine.
it's the formulation is a little bit more clear.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then there was also this comment about tags
Hmm.
that a proposer will tag the vote. So when they consider that the phase one vote is finalized and ready to be reviewed by the moderator, it should be tagged by them to be pushed to phase two, so that there's a more active role of the proposal submitter. So I added this in this description. If you can see where I am with the cursor now, the vote is tagged when the proposal submitter considers the phase one vote finalized and ready to be reviewed by a moderator for the next phase.
This is something, it's not about tagging the phase one thing. Basically, to have something showing up in phase two, you have to make a new post. So basically, you have to uh, you take your text or write your proposal, because in phase two you have to also follow the structure of the template. So it's not just if you tag a phase one discussion, it will not become a phase two um, poll automatically, because phase two has a lot of more requirements. So basically, if you're happy with your post in phase one and everything, you have enough likes and everything, then you have to write a, a complete new topic following the proposal template, creating all the things, creating all the vote questions and everything. And this you have to submit it
Okay.
as a phase two discussion, and then the moderators will check it and give it the tag as a phase two, and post it or approve it in the phase two category, because you're moving from
Uh,
category to another category.
All right. So to recall it, the proposer has to
Yeah,
post it for level 2,
yeah,
and not the moderator
yeah,
does that.
yeah.
All
Moderators
right.
so
That was
moderators
I think
are
that was not clear until
yeah.
yet. We should note
I
that
see a
down.
bit of an issue. I see a bit of an issue though.
Mhm.
Basically, then that means for some reason I thought it was like you tag it and then it alerts the moderator admins and then somehow it goes on to phase two. But since we have the template, it sounds like people could technically then just submit straight to phase two if they wanted to, right? Just to clarify that
Yeah,
technically in Discord.
but but the
So
moder
so 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 hold on.
but yeah, yeah.
What I'm saying is then what we should do on that Google form, and maybe we need an action team to develop this Google form template. In the Google form, it should say, have you created a phase one post that has meet 50 likes or 50 blah, 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 and is also meeting the guiding principles? Yes, then submit the phase one link so that the moderator or admin, when that form, so instead of tagging, essentially, when the proposer is ready to submit to phase two, they would fill out that Google form. It goes to the moderators and admins, and all they have to do then is click that link rather than searching through. I mean, we could have 100 posts in phase one, right? So, like, it'd just be kind of a pain in the ass if the
Yeah.
moderators and admins have to sift through all of them to find it.
Yes.
Rather, the proposer submits a Google form, puts the link, confirms that it meets these requirements, which is like a double check for them, and then fills out the rest of the form. Boom, we click the link. We see that it hits 50 likes or 50 positive votes. It meets the guidelines, blah, blah, blah. And the template structure is good. And then then the whole question, then somehow it goes back to them to create the post too. So what if we do that Friday? Is anyone, oh, man, I'm pretty busy Friday.
Mm.
Andy, do you want to do that Friday night? Work on the Google form? Is he off?
We wanted to look into the forum's permissions, I think.
I have
Yeah,
a very busy Friday night of putting together wedding bags that my mother dropped the ball on. And so I do
yeah.
not want to risk my relationship with either my wife or my mother
No.
What
to
J-
do
about
this.
what about Monday morning?
Morning.
or morning
let's
American time
let
after
yeah
European
let
time.
Monday morning works for me. I can do 9 a.m. PST.
let me first figure
Okay.
out if this course even has the possibility that it takes inputs from forms. Otherwise, the people have to do it in the forum, use the template, copy the template, and fill in the blanks basically with their text, and submit this as a new post, and of course include the link to the phase one
Let's.
discussion there. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Maybe
if
maybe
the
maybe
Google,
that's.
I'm
Go ahead.
sorry. No, I was just
I
gonna
was
say
just
like if the Google. No, no, please go ahead, then I'll go.
sorry. I was gonna say if Google Form can't integrate, maybe you're right, Philo, that it's just a template that we include the phase one link, and they include that in the phase two post, so that
Yeah,
it's still kind of the same thing because it's still gonna alert the moderator. They easily click the link, go check if phase one meets the requirements,
that's
and then they
already
approve phase
that's
two.
already that's already
So
part
okay,
of it's already part of the requirements. So in the text, it's already
is it
there that it's already part that you every phase two post has to include the link to the phase one discussion, which it comes from basically.
okay? Cool. All right. I guess I forgot that. I didn't see
Yeah,
that in there, but
too
awesome.
too many
Okay.
stuff. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's a lot going on. So the verbiage tagged, how can we verbalize that better than Philo, do you think? Or sorry, Asa, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, so then like basically once you have received 50 votes on your phase one proposal,
Yeah.
what you do is to start already with the application for phase two, because you basically fill in a form to apply your
Mm-hmm.
to apply your proposal for phase two, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then actually they don't
Okay.
even have any more steps here on phase one after it has received the link, because then the next steps are more connected to phase two, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. So
Among the other things.
if you have received your likes and you are happy with everything, then you have to write your post for phase two, following the template, um, create the questions and everything, and post this as a phase two post in the phase two category, and then it goes to review to the moderators.
Yeah.
Okay, so we basically are using Google Form as a ticket system for the moderators
Let's
to
see
write this, to move.
let's see if this I mean, Google Forms might be it basically. I think we just talked about having the Google Form to create a participation event, yeah, because there I mean, if it is possible to do with Google Forms, to create a whole post in the forum, might be nice. In the other end, I mean, writing the post in the forum itself now is also not. You can use Markdown. You can just write it in Google, and then you can copy the whole thing, and submit it as a post. So don't think people will have so much trouble in writing a proper phase two proposal. And in the end, also it shouldn't be super easy. Yeah. So it everything avoids spamming. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's see if we find something that works with a kind of a Google form, that definitely will help. Yeah.
Okay, so then the Google form, it is not. We are using it in phase one as well, or not?
No, 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 not in
No,
phase
we're
one.
not using it in phase one. Okay, perfect. So it's basically what says here is it's relevant. A proposal ID is introduced by a post in the forum from a forum member with minimum trust level 1. Does everyone see this as the correct first step?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so then, I mean, we could basically then maybe delete these next steps and just
Mm-hmm.
start with the next step in phase 2, because once you have your 50 likes, then you know that it was successful. You have fulfilled the criteria that will be necessary for phase 2, which is to have a previous post in phase 1 with enough votes, likes. So then I think it makes more sense to just outline the next steps in phase 2, if you agree.
Yeah, yeah. Phase 1 is only posting it, discussing it, changing it if you need with different versions or whatever. And then if you're happy and you received enough likes, you move to phase 2.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's check out then the other questions that were addressed in Tuesday's meeting. There was also one about adding to the requirements that the proposal must meet the guiding principles. So I added that here, that the proposal meets the guiding principles. And there was also a comment about adding something about the trust levels and how they are required to make a post and also to vote in phase 2. So just to clarify, the trust level is required to voting in phase 2, but not in phase 1.
No, it's to vote.
To vote as well, you need to have trust level 1.
Because isn't it, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly, it's to even comment on phase 1 or vote. Basically, any activity put up content, you need trust level 1, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Post so replying with trust level 0 is possible, but making a new topic shall not be possible. Mostly for spam reasons.
So, but they can reply to a comment or vote or click like. Okay.
I guess I can click like. I don't know if that's preventable.
I think
that does not have trust level 1.
Yeah, so clicking like is not preventable, I think, the only thing is you can basically block that people without trust level 1 even see the discussions. But that would be not a nice solution, I think.
Yeah, you would also block non-logged in users from
Yes.
visiting the forum, and that would lead to reduced activity.
Yeah.
But we can prevent people from clicking vote in phase 2 if they're not trust level 1, right?
Yes. You can
cool.
also prevent them from clicking vote in phase 1 if you like. It's something that you put in the poll options. You decide.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, because otherwise I was going to maybe add here to this where I am now, that the proposal receives 50 positive votes likes from forum members with minimal trust level 1, but then I just keep it as it is from the community on discourse.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. And I added this with the trust level 1 here in the requirements, that the proposal is submitted by a forum member with minimum trust level 1.
Awesome.
Okay, and then there was a comment about that in phase 2, the requirement is strictly 100 votes.
Hey, Asa, can you go up to the phase 1 and that last box, 50 positive votes or likes?
Yeah, and likes. Perfect. Yeah. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you. Nice.
Great. Thanks for the reminder. And so here, this comment with the strictly 100 votes. Is this that it should not mention positive votes or just simply 100 votes?
No, it should be votes in favor of the proposal, because otherwise, if you have 100 votes against it, it would still move forward, which is kind of not really logic. So but of course, if you can still have more no votes than yes votes, and it still would move into Firefly. because we know its forum is never secure. But if really nobody supports the whole thing in the forum, I don't see a reason to put it up into a Firefly vote then. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. And perfect. And then it was also, yeah, this doing. I think this was the question 9 from the discussion on Tuesday. I think this is more or less the same thing. That it says Philo mentioned that the governance document that it was discussed explained that it can be more than do nothing, like the votes, but as a minimum to move from phase 2 to phase 3, 100 positive votes are required. So I think this was the same comment, just that it needs to be 100 votes in favor of the proposal.
Yeah.
Then it was the comment about including the poll runoff description. So I will wait with that until we have gotten it down written in the document, as you mentioned before, that you would work on this. Yeah, then there was some comments on some steps that I already deleted now from phase 1, since we consider that this will finish after the proposal has received 50 votes likes. But then I think maybe we need to write this here in the beginning a little bit different in phase 2. Because here it says that just the proposal ID is introduced by a post in the forum from a forum member. Oh, sorry, now I'm reading on phase 1 again. The concept ready to be voted on by the community is finalized. So maybe we have to mention here that you fill out a form, and in the form you will tag, you will add a link to proposal 1 when it was in phase 1, so that it can be verified that it had enough votes in favor, for example.
I don't think you need to
Where-
go into so detail. You could just write, okay, you write a post following a template, and
Yeah.
because the requirements are pretty, because when you see the phase 1 already, there's kind of detailed written what you need to fulfill to go into phase 2, so you don't need to repeat it there.
Right. I think if we just use the word template, I mean, template could be a form if we use a form. If we don't use a form, then it's just a template.
Yeah.
So, and writes a post for phase 2 proposal
Yeah.
following the we say the proposed template or the approved template.
Yeah, we call it basically the name is proposal template. It's our proposal template. Yeah. In however, whichever form this will be, it's yeah, not really relevant.
So I have a graphic design suggestion. Since we keep on confusing phase 1 and phase 2, is there a way that we can maybe do either like a darker or thicker line for phase 2, or different color, just something so visually you're like, oh yeah, I'm in phase 2, and it almost like it gets bigger or closer to the end. I don't know, but something so that it doesn't seem so so the same between phases.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good suggestion, actually. Maybe like different colors, or like
Yeah.
different, like, yeah,
You
make
could,
it like more like
yeah.
bigger, as you said,
Or you
or like
could,
the lines, like.
yeah, you could make the line that goes down, so the line with the points, they can have different colors. Yeah, this one, if you make it white, and then in phase 2 you make it yellow, and in phase 3 you make it whatever, this might be already enough that you really, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't need that much, but something just so
Just a hint, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, actually. So because it already happened now that I was confusing it with phase 2, so that will probably help. Okay. So then the first step is this: the proposal submitter writes a post following the proposal template, and we still have the step that it needs to contain 2 different options. and the phase 2 proposal is posted. But then, yeah, then this first step is actually what is written again in step 3 here.
Yes.
And yeah, then the next, we could maybe delete this step. Maybe I can copy this about in which channel to write it, that it's in the governance proposal and subcategory proposal, maybe in here, in clear now. So then the next step, I mean, yeah, is as well that it contains 2 different options, and the next step is that it is approved by the moderator.
Yes.
Perfect. And yeah, then it was also a question about the participation event.
Yep.
This was not until phase 3 that the participation event is created by that it should be created by the moderator or the administrator. I had understood that it was actually the proposal submitter. So if we could confirm this now.
In my opinion, it should be done by the proposal submitter. Otherwise, we are again making too much hand holding. I think we can offer if somebody really has no technical skills or says, but if we have this, if we can do this with the Google form, because then basically it's super easy. Everybody can do it. If we really have just a form that helps us filling out the couple of text passages that would be required for this participation event, and the rest basically is pre-configured, then the submitter can do this, and it doesn't need to be done by the moderators. They can still, you can always ask for help from them, but yeah.
I still see some issues because if somebody uses Google Form, how can we validate that this user is trust level 1 or that this user even has a forum account? Because basically anybody could submit a proposal. Or do you want some sign up with Google or so option?
No, but we could link the phase 2. They'd have to link the phase 2 web link. So I mean, yes, technically someone else could submit a phase 2 to phase 3, but I mean, if we follow that link and it's got 100 in favor votes, then I mean it's going to Firefly no matter what.
But basically, I would.
We no longer have any spam protection at this point.
Yeah,
Somebody could just spam out the shit on the Google form.
Yes. No. I would really only use. I would only use the Google form for the participation event. The rest is. I mean, it's just writing a post in the forum, and you just follow the structure of the template. That's like not.
What I just thought about was that maybe IF or somebody could write a simple website where you just enter it, and once you hit enter, it like checks all fields are filled with 50 characters or so, nothing beyond limit, and then you actually get a copy and paste markdown for your proposal.
That's basically the only thing that we would need. If this can be done by a Google form or by a smart form, or even by you can maybe even have a markdown editor or something like this that makes that possible.
Yeah.
But
because personally, I would not connect this to Google because I don't see why this is necessary here, and I would not build any unnecessary dependencies on other platforms.
Yeah, basically, I think basically people can just really really delete, like I did it in my form. You delete the blue thing and you write your text there, and that's it. And the rest you don't touch. And then the moderators do a double check that the event is correct from the syntax, and that's that's it. Yeah.
But so this might be some, let's say, lack of technical expertise, but could we embed a form so that it still looks like it doesn't need to be Google form, it doesn't need to be anything like that. But I just think that if we make it easier for the kind of the entire system to put in the correct information, we'll most likely have less errors, right? So if we have just like an embedded form that once they hit a certain threshold, they then have access for, I don't know how we do it, but like,
Yeah,
maybe.
you can definitely embed things in the post there. Um, but we have to figure out if we find something that really works and doesn't, like Werner said, doesn't have any dependencies and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like something hosted by the community, so simple web pages that just generate a markdown. Something like this is okay, but I don't want to.
There may be a dependency though. We just have to understand, because again, we've got the unique identifier that we are most likely going to hold in what we said, an Excel file, but probably would be Google Sheets. Now, if we did do, let's say, a Google form, it doesn't have to be Google form. There's other, smart forms that we can have as a web page where people enter it in through a web page, but then it will log that in a Google Sheet. So every time a submitter puts it in, essentially it's logging that unique identifier, and that's also taking away from the moderator or admins having to manage that,
Yeah,
instead of just going in and reviewing.
I think we're really overcomplicating things in the moment with this stuff.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
think that that should not be like an automatic posting or submission
No.
if we can't verify who's doing that, because otherwise it's just going to end up in spam.
No, I mean, I think also, right, if I remember correctly, once a phase 3 is submitted, then it also gets reviewed before it goes live in Firefly, correct?
Yeah, of course. Everything in phase 3 is anyway, it's not, phase 3 is only basically, phase 3 is actually not something is happening in the forum anymore, because it's just basically implementing stuff in the nodes in Firefly, and all this stuff you have to prepare for phase 2 already.
Right, and it's the moderator admins creating the announcement in phase 3, correct?
Yes. So there's no post from somebody.
So essentially, we follow that process through. If a phase 2 proposer gets 100 in favor votes, they then submit this form, which is going to flag the moderator or admin. They're then going to click the phase 2 link from that form. They're going to see, okay, it has reached its requirement to go on to phase 3, which also I guess we'd be at the end of the 2 weeks, or at the end of the 1 week, we'll be going through and seeing what passed, what didn't. And then once we see that it's ready for phase 3, we then write the announcement and copy and paste their GitHub in, and then it goes on to the next level, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't need even a form. If I am having a poll running in phase 2, and I see, hey, cool, I got my 100 votes. I anyway need to wait until the 7 days are over, and then I just message one of the moderators and say, hey, look, I reached my 100. My proposal reached 100. Can you please propose this for phase 3? Here is the participation event. Was already filled in. And yalla yalla. So you basically, it's pretty easy to communicate this. You can tag a moderator, or you can just write a message to a moderator and say, hey, I'm ready, or the proposal is ready. We have enough votes. 7 days are over. Let's implement it in Firefly. So I don't see the need for a form.
Okay, well, and actually, no, you're right. Sometimes it takes it talking through. They're writing the participation event in the form template for phase 2. So either it's there at the end of the week, and if it's passed, and if it's not, then we do it for them, right?
Yeah, you actually you don't even approve a phase 2 poll
no,
without
I understand.
the participation event already finished. So this is a requirement to even get a
Right.
poll that everything is already
Right.
prepared for the Firefly vote. Yeah, so there's not much to
Right.
do anymore. Yeah.
Okay, so basically we say, hey, looks like your participation, and
JD?
Was it? Oh, I thought it was mine.
JD, you disappeared.
I was checking my internet too.
It's always, every time it happens, I'm like, oh no, it's me.
Okay, Asa, do you have? Let's maybe really visit this again on Tuesday. But
Yeah.
do you have anything else, or otherwise maybe we spin it off for
Yeah.
today?
No, it was just like something. There was also there was one last comment that was about maybe including something about there was Werner, he had brought up that maybe we should set a requirement that all proposals have a cut-off to be tagged 24 hours before the closing weekly period, so that the moderators and administrators will have time to review and approve proposals. I don't know if we should include this
Yeah.
in the timeline, time frame, I
Um,
mean.
Werner,
Yeah, I would actually include that because this just gives us a 24-hour period where moderators, if we can still manage to get that one in, it's still okay. But if somebody comes like
yeah,
10 minutes before we post it and says, hey, I posted it in time, you have to do that. I just want to prevent this
yeah,
scenario
that's
from
good.
happening.
That's basically good. So this would be for phase 2, yeah. So yeah, that we
Essentially,
24
if you
hours, yeah,
want to be in 24 hours prior, if you are late, I mean, it's like going to a shop 2 minutes after closure. If the cashier says, hey,
yeah,
I'm fine with that, take your cigarettes, it's
yes,
good. But if he says, no, I closed the register, game over. You have to
yeah,
wait
yeah.
till the next day.
So because the phase 2 will always start on a Monday, so basically
Yeah.
we can say you have to submit your request to be included in the next phase 2 round until I don't know, Saturday evening or something like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
24 hours. That
Yeah,
was the
20.
thing. This
Yeah,
also gives us like options if somebody maybe clicks wrong or
yeah,
we need to call them back or something. Then we still have
yes.
some margin where we can like still fix stuff.
Yeah, I'll add that 24 hours is tight but good. Yeah, but we need this. Otherwise, like you said, coming in last minute and demanding anything is not something that we want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just up 24 hours. It's just up to the moderators. If we say it's possible, then we can do it. And if we say no, that one was too tight, then
Yes. Also with the different time zones and stuff like this. So yeah, we definitely need 24 hours because I mean you're also not everybody is all the time online. I mean, also Antonio or me would be there if there's really something super important happening. But yeah,
yeah, I mean,
better.
you
Yeah.
can tag the mods on Discord also if you
Yes.
feel like something's going wrong here, your proposal has slipped through,
Mhm.
and then we can like call back.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Cool.
So okay, so then I will add that as one of the requirements that the proposals will have to be tagged 24 hours before the
Not
closing weekly period.
don't write tagged. Submitted. The post needs to be
Submitted. Yeah.
submitted in the phase 2 category 24 hours before the next poll round would start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll add this also to the specification doc for phase 2. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that was it. And then it was also the last one about maybe explaining the emergency proposal submitted during the cooldown period, how it can be executed, or should maybe we can do like an annex for that, or would you include it here in the infographic as well?
maybe we could do an. I think it then this is a difficult topic. It would need an own slide minimum because there
Yeah.
are some we can, but it's a very unusual thing. But why not? We can make an extra slide for it.
Yeah.
For this
Maybe, yeah, like
case,
an
yeah,
annex kind of.
yeah, that sounds okay.
Maybe I mean, I can try to maybe suggest something for next week because now I'm gonna just like
Yes.
make these changes like look like a little bit more beautiful because now they're a little bit all over the page. So I will and also change the colors. So I will have a new version for the meeting on Tuesday, and then maybe I can also suggest a draft slide for the emergency proposal process.
Yeah. Okay, everybody.
Okay, yeah, that was it for the comments. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for your inputs and for reviewing this. This was very helpful.
Does anybody from the audience have some open questions around or?
No, just want to say thank you, Asa. It's awesome. Great job.
Thank you for all your feedback and all
Yeah.
for helping me make it more clear.
Yeah, cool.
And this is really great. It's really impressive how much we've actually moved this from, was it 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago?
Oh, longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 months yeah, but yeah, 6, 8 weeks. I think we're already on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the action team meeting, what was the time? 9 p.m. on Monday? PST?
9 a.m. PST
9
on Monday.
a.m. PST on Monday.
Yeah.
Wait.
So I think that's 6 p.m. Central Time for 1800 hours.
9 PST is 7 in Europe. Okay.
Wait,
Oh.
So Monday evening. In 40 minutes, right?
No, 20 minutes ago.
20 minutes
20 minutes
ago.
ago. 10 a.m. Monday.
Problems.
Hey, as
Maybe that thing doesn't take. Okay.
I wasn't able to take notes. Can someone, Asa, are you okay writing up notes for this meeting?
Yeah, sure. I took the notes, so I will share them now after the meeting. So just to confirm, the working meeting on Monday, that was for the Google Forms, right? For the proposal template.
For any form, we don't need to have it totally Google. It's some type of solution to make it so that we don't enable errors in
Yeah.
inputs.
Yeah, let's maybe just finalize the template and phase 2/phase 3 workflow. As well as, I mean, and Philo, maybe want to suggest, I know that's a little late for you, but maybe suggest prior to that meeting, where are we going to track the unique identifiers? Who and when put those unique identifiers in that sheet? At what point? And then I think it was Nickel and Dime brought up, how can we where are we going to record the voting results for those phase 3 proposals?
Yeah, I mean, we have already a GitHub repo for that, but basically, then we can just once the vote is finished, the moderator can then just add the link to this to the participation event results to the post basically to the announcement post.
Okay, got it. Excellent. So yeah, so we just maybe finalize that last bit of process, and then I think we're good to go.
Okay, perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, I could also come in the meeting maybe if you want.
Oh, and do we need to include the not the poll runoff, but the counter proposal? And is the counter proposal process within the governance document?
Not yet. I mean, the counter proposal thing is something I'll have to write up over the weekend or tomorrow or something like this. I sketch something up. Yeah.
So maybe if you include that in the document, then you can flag Asa. She can try to incorporate that into the flow sheet, and we can discuss that maybe first thing on Monday, and then bring it up on Tuesday as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Nice. Awesome.
Okay, everybody.
Okay, so see you on Monday then.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks
See everyone.
everybody.
Have a good weekend.